Hello, everybody. This is Gina Ballou, and I have a special guest with us today, and this is Randy Bixby, and he's going to be sharing with us a program that he has that I'm going to be walking through myself at the end of this year. Actually, it's already starting, and so I wanted to share this with you because I think it's going to be a great tool to help us get where we want to go in the year 2018 and even beyond that. And so I've been coaching with Randy for, about a year and a half now. And so he's really given me a lot of great tools on how to move forward. If any of you feel stuck in certain areas or you just don't know how to get that momentum to move forward, Randy has shared so many good tools, and I haven't done this program yet, but I know from experience that the tools that he does provide are very helpful and useful in getting you moving in the direction that you want to go. So I'm going to, Randy, let you share what you want to share about the program, and then if any questions come up, I'll just ask you about them. And so take it from here, Randy.
Thanks, Gina. And I just want to say to you, I really appreciate your heart and your leadership for your team and wanting to put tools in their hands. You know, people can want to be successful. They can want to build a business. They can want to, improve their relationships. They can want to lose it. What we want's almost irrelevant. You know, we have what we're committed right now. What we're committed to is what we have. And we need tools. And that's what I love about coaching and about training. And this program is a process that I've used for about a dozen years. At the end of every year, between Christmas and New Year's, I just developed this and I've been using it. And I call it Periscope 360 now. I didn't call it that at the beginning, but it's that idea of I'm coming up out of the water, out where it's dark, and I'm looking around 360 degrees and I'm getting a clear view. This is really about getting clarity about where I've been. So there's a look back, and then about where I am, there's a look in, and then a look up and a look ahead. It's a process that I've been using. It's called Periscope 360, and you can learn more about the details at periscope360.life, L-I-F-E. And it details exactly how the program works. But essentially, there are tools of looking back and learning the lessons that we've been presented with, and really just getting the data, like where is my life in 6 key areas. So my body, soul, spirit, my relationships, my finances or business, and what I call my governing capacity, meaning how do I handle my priorities with the overwhelming needs that we all have, the busyness of life. How do I govern my capacity so I can really get the most important things done? And the tools will walk through one day at a time, looking back, then looking in and see the thinking that created the results that I, have been reflecting on. Then I look up and I get insight from God and his perspective, sometimes his healing, sometimes his priorities, sometimes he reframes the things that have happened so I can see them and experience them real positively and toward growth instead of, negatively and just, tie me down. And then it's a very clear goal setting process moving forward. So there are in all 6 of these areas we track all the way through. So that's the heart of the program. And I'm excited about it, but I just want to tell you what's happened as a result. And this is what I really am excited about. And I'll just tell you a few things. I've used this process to start nonprofits, to start a house of prayer. I used this process to start my business. I used this process about almost 10 years ago to lose 90 pounds. And then Gina and I were talking before we started recording here about something that 3 years ago, this process came out, something in my family. I wanted to invest into my kids. They're adults, 25, 22, and 20. And I just had this idea through this reflection process and set goals. And so every year now we've taken a trip for a week. And in that week, we tell stories. And we call that trip Family Legacy Ventures. And so the kids decide where they want to go. Last year we went to Mexico. Then just a month or so ago, we went to Florida to see my dad. And we tell stories. And it's all about passing on our family and discovering our family values and our family, distinctives. And we share it. And then I create these exercises around, like we went to Nassau, Cape Canaveral, and we did this whole day on dreaming and overcoming obstacles. I mean, imagine they're sending, they're sending a ship to Mars, and they're recruiting. Who wants to be a part? They said, we're going to Mars. We don't know how we're going to get there. Help us. It was just a great experience for the family. And we talked about our dreams and about our challenges. And my dad, who's 82, every day was weeping. He's just, I can't believe I've never told these stories. He said, this is the most amazing. And I feel closer to my kids. And so next year, the last morning of our time, we plan the next year. So next year it's the Colorado mountains. And, as you can tell, I'm excited about it because I feel closer to my kids. They know me. I know them. I'm passing on the most important things and having a ball doing it. And all of that to say, it came out of this process. So I've used this for business. I've used it for my, my relationship with God. I've used it with my family, with my health. And it is a practice that I believe you'll love and you'll use every year. And if you do it as a team, oh my gosh, like to get really, really clear and have my life, know where I'm at and where I'm going and growing through the process. It's really, I hope you'll join Gina and take us up on this journey. Any questions?
I did have one, but I lost it now, but I do like that it involves every part of your life, not just the business, because sometimes we can get so focused on one area that we forget about the other parts or let them fall prey, so to speak. And so I love that it includes every part, that we're not moving forward at the cost of our families or something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, oh, darn, there was something I was going to ask you, but I can't remember. Oh, so if we wanted to do this as a team, like how would we do that? Just do it all separately on our own and then gather together, or do like a Zoom call? What would be a good way that we could do that together?
Yeah, great question. A lot of ways you could do it. I mean, everybody needs to do it themselves in the sense that you get the program. There's a 26 days of questions and reflections, right, as a lead up to that last week of the year on all these areas, just so that you're in that space and thinking. And then it's 4 1-hour videos, 1 hour a day, that come out, and they're each, first day's look back, second day look in, look up, look. And you could certainly all plan to watch it on those days and do your own work. And then at the end of that day, you could just call and say, hey, what were the results? How did that go? And you could process through a day at a time, which would be powerful. Or you could make it through the entire journey and then have some shares, like especially around the going forward. I think how powerful it is to be accountable to each other and have that help, like in these areas that are important to me, and losing the weight, or, whatever it is, the business, to have people who know what my goals are and I know what yours are, and really helps us to move it forward. You could, and as a team, you could even reflect, okay, we've done this process all as individuals. Let's just do it real quick together now as a team. Let's look back over this last year. You could put that lens on, if you would, and that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And let's look in where are we at as a team, and looking up and looking ahead, and just to set those really clear. And it's not about having 100 goals that are overwhelming. It's about having a few really clear, really measurable goals in each of these areas that I can take action on and improve them. So I get unstuck. A lot of people are stuck. I know I have been many times. Have you?
That's why we coach. Yeah.
I know. And it's so powerful to get clarity and get perspective, and then have a plan of action, and then have accountability to take the action. It makes all the difference for me. And
absolutely.
Do, so.
Absolutely. And then I noticed that as part of that package that you offer a coaching call for $40, which is a reduced price. I would recommend that all of you do that. You might be busy, Randy, if everybody does it.
That's all right.
Yeah, I would highly recommend that, because Randy's really good at seeing the places you're stuck. And it might just be one little thought or one little belief, and that kind of gets you over the hump. So I would highly recommend that as well as you do that package if you can swing it. And that's all I can think of.
Awesome. Periscope360.life.
Yeah, and on there it's going to explain the program more specific. So go there and check it out, and then they sign up from there, right? There's a link.
Yep, right there on the page.
Okay, well, I certainly hope that you will join me on that journey and figuring out just where we go from here. And I believe that 2018 is going to blow our socks off and be different than last year, different than the years before, because I just feel it in my bones. Anybody else? It's going to be different this year. And by different, I mean really, really good. So, okay, check it out, and then we'll be posting on the team page, and let me know if you join so we can make sure we get together at the end of the process, okay? Thanks. I'm going to stop the recording.